summit between Central Asia and the European Union. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in our partnership. We are elevating our ties for a strategic level, reflecting the vast potential ahead. In recent years, Central Asian countries have strongly developed their regional cooperation, and the EU is a reliable partner for Central Asia, and this summit is not a destination, but is a journey that we are advancing through concrete action. We aim to strengthen economic ties, trade and investment. We have already signed bilateral partnerships with Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. And this year, we will sign our bilateral cooperation partnership agreement with Uzbekistan, and next year with Tajikistan. Talks with Turkmenistan will begin soon. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, early announced, we are mobilizing more than 12 billion euros for the region on behalf of the Global Gateway Initiative. And we are committed to enhancing digital and sustainable transport connectivity, including the development of the Trans-Caspian Transport Corridor. And we are facilitating European investment and technological development in critical raw materials. Climate change is a key area for joint action. We are taking action to promote sustainable water management, agriculture, energy transition, and the development of a green economy. We face shared security challenges and are prepared to intensify our efforts through a regular security dialogue. Afghanistan remains a concern, and we discussed the security situation and the potential spillover risks to Central Asia and Europe. As you know, the most severe security challenge Europe faces today is Russia's ongoing aggression against Ukraine, which undermines international stability. We hope the new momentum leads to a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine. And we must work together in a common effort to guarantee it. To conclude, our relationship has never been stronger, and we must now shape the future, chapters of the strategic partnership, and to do so in line with the motto of the summit, investing in the future. Thank you very much.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank President Mirziyoyev for his amazing hospitality. Antonio and I agree, Samarkand is simply breathtaking. We have visited Samarkand's historic treasures, the Registan Square, the Ulubek Observatory, and the Amir Temur Mausoleum. This ancient city has been at the crossroad of so many civilizations for so long. And this is why it is such a fitting venue for the first EU Central Asia Summit. This is the beginning of a new chapter in our long-standing friendship. Central Asia is a partner of choice for us. So today we have launched the new strategic partnership. It means that we can rely on each other, and relying on each other in today's world, this matters more than ever. The political will to deepen our cooperation like never before is there, and it has never been clearer. As a great start of this new chapter, we have launched a package in our Global Gateway investment program of 12 billion euros for the region. This package has 4 priorities. The first is transport. Indeed, the aim is to bring our regions closer. And of course, a flagship project is the Trans-Caspian Transport Corridor, where the European Union is investing 10 billion euros. The second element is climate, energy and water. This is crucial to protect the land and our nature and our climate, and we just had a very successful climate forum here in Samarkand. We are also building gigantic dams, the Rogun Dam and the Kambarata Dam, to support the region's water and energy security. And we are also creating a new green belt in the Aral Sea basin for the desert to bloom with life again. The third topic is digital, and it concerns our world-class satellites. We are partnering to bring via our satellites internet to the most remote areas of the region, because we all know that when internet arrives to a school or a village, it gives fantastic new opportunities. And here we want to connect remote villages, we want to connect schools, we want to connect hospitals via the ground stations for the satellites. Finally, indeed, the critical raw materials. We all need the critical raw materials to power the clean transition and the clean economy of tomorrow. Central Asia has a significant share of global reserves, and Europe wants to give a fair offer, a special offer. As partner, we want to build local value chains for the critical minerals. This means that the value created here in the region stays in the region, and it creates good jobs. Because we think when our partners grow, also Europe grows. And this is our vision of a fair partnership. This is the global gateway approach. And I'm very glad to see our partners so determined to implement these great projects together. So thank you very much, and I'm honored to be part of this historic summit here in Samarkand.
Thank you. We have time for a couple of questions. Let's start with the gentleman.
Abdulmanap Kenyes, TV and radio complex of the President of Kazakhstan. What are the expected outcomes of the first EU Central Asia Summit in the context of regional development? What key areas of cooperation will be addressed? And could you mention Kazakhstan's role in this process? Thank you.
To start, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me emphasize the role of Kazakhstan. It's not only the largest country in the region, but it was the first one to sign a partnership agreement with the European Union. And I want to commend the personal commitment for President Tokayev to increase and strengthen the relationships between Kazakhstan and the European Union. Of course, it's always time to expand our cooperation, and we want to expand on investment, on trade, on energy, on critical raw materials, on water, and I think the future opens a large space to increase our bilateral cooperation with Kazakhstan.
Yes, indeed. For us, it's on one hand important the connection between the European Union and Central Asia, but we also know how important it is that within the region the integration is deepened and the economy is flourishing. This is why, for example, looking at Kazakhstan, the Trans-Caspian Transport Corridor is so important. It connects Europe with Asia. It reduces the travel time by half, so only 15 days when we're done. And Kazakhstan is a strong partner in creating this added value for transport, for example, but also to closer ties overall to Europe. Then we have, under Global Gateway, many interesting projects in Kazakhstan. I think, as an example, I can take the digital connection that I just mentioned. This is via our satellites. Kazakhstan is here the front runner, the first country that engaged. And to give you figures, we have delivered already together for 328 villages and 2,000 schools. So 328 villages are now connected to the internet. and 2,000 schools are connected to the internet. This is thanks to the excellent cooperation with Kazakhstan, and we're grateful and proud of it. So Uzbekistan plays a crucial role and has a very prominent place in Global Gateway. Global Gateway, for everybody, is our investment project of 300 billion euros for infrastructure abroad, outside the European Union. And here we have priorities. I mentioned the digital priority, where Uzbekistan is also invited to take part and has a very positive response to that. I mentioned the energy project in Global Gateway, where for Uzbekistan also the engagement in renewable energy is a hallmark, a flagship project where we work very closely together. I mentioned the mobility, the transport, the Trans-Caspian transport corridor that we are developing together, and the topic of critical raw materials. Of course, there are many more smaller topics, but these are the big flagship topics that are for the region, and here Uzbekistan is crucial.
Let me just add the important role of Uzbekistan, a central country in the region, but the personal commitment of President Mirziyoyev to gather all the countries of the region together to contribute to solve bilateral problems between countries in the region, and the strong commitment to cooperate with the European Union. These projects, supported by Global Gateway, are complemented by the other projects, funding by our development bank, the European Investment Bank, and the European Reconstruction and Development Bank, that they are very important to support not only public investments, but also private investments in the region, and to open and given better conditions for European companies come to the region, come to Uzbekistan to invest here, to develop the Central Asian economy and create more and better jobs.
Okay. One more question.
Kommissionspräsidentin von der Leyen. China und Russland sind schon seit Jahrzehnten in Zentralasien aktiv. Wie will die Europäische Union die zentralasiatischen Staaten überzeugen, dass sie der bessere Partner sind? Was kann die EU Zentralasien anbieten? I will repeat this question in English. China and Russia have long been active in Central Asia. How does the European Union intend to convince the Central Asian states that it is the better partner? What can the EU offer Central Asia?
So Russia has long shown that it cannot be a reliable partner anymore, and the European Union has proven that it is predictable, reliable, and for sustainable cooperation. If we look at the projects for the European Union, it is important that our partners benefit from them too. And in contradiction to the aforementioned countries, the European Union, for example, when it comes to critical raw materials, is a completely different partner. In the past, China, often Russia, extracted raw material, took them to their countries, processed there, and the added value is there. So in the country of origin, no added value. We have a different approach. We think it's absolutely important that you create the value, the added value locally, so that it creates jobs, and that the added value chain is within the country of origin. We think this is better for our partners in the long term, and it is also better for the European Union. Einmal nochmal auf Deutsch. Russland zeigt schon lange, dass es kein verlässlicher Partner ist. Und die Länder der Region hier haben auch erfahren, dass es bedeutet, mit China zusammenzuarbeiten, wenn die Bedingungen nicht klar sind und China die kritischen Rohmaterialien aufkauft und in China weiterverarbeitet. Wir haben einen anderen Ansatz. Wir sind verlässlich, wir sind berechenbar. Und für uns ist es wichtig, dass wir vor Ort investieren, sodass nicht nur bei kritischen Rohmaterialien von allem abgebaut wird. Hier legen wir ganz großen Wert auf die Umweltverträglichkeit, die Art und Weise, wie kritische Rohmaterialien abgebaut werden, sondern wir investieren vor Ort, dass dort die Weiterverarbeitung der kritischen Rohmaterialien stattfindet. Das schafft Arbeitsplätze, das schafft Mehrwert vor Ort und das ist der Unterschied.
Well, European Union and the 5 Central Asian countries, we share the same vision about the importance to extend our support to the multilateral system and to defend rules-based international order. This is critical. The alternative of rules-based order is chaos, and we need to avoid chaos, and the international law must prevail. That means respect sovereignty, territorial integrity, respect the international recognized borders, and we share the same vision. And over the last 3 years, these principles were tested, and our solidarity and our capacity to work together have proved very well. And that's why I think we need to continue to work together to ensure a just and lasting peace also in Ukraine. And because this region is historical and geographical, a strategic one, as a bridge between the Eastern and West, between the European Union and China, between the European Union and Russia, and this is the add value of this very special relation we are developing with the Central Asian countries and them with the European Union. Thank you.
That's it for today.